I invite my higher self to come through and speak through me. My channel is wide open. I invite my spirit guides to come and bring me guidance for this time now so that I may fulfill my highest potential. When I say my highest potential, it is in the spirit of Thy will be done, which is my highest potential that I can fulfill at this level of existence from the consciousness of my higher self. And I know there are levels of consciousness, there are levels of how wide, and but I don't even go there. I just say my higher self, and it is reaching into my soul as far as I can, as high in frequency as I possibly can have access to at this time, in this now. And this is that I speak to, and this is that which I call forth here and now. And I welcome now your guidance, your counsel, thank you, your friendship, your love. Your downloads. I also call forth that support to focus my, to hold space for your consciousness, to be very present. Chiara, nunquia, presence is a power that breaks through and transcends time and space. To allow you to be everywhere at the same time and nowhere. You are in the quantum field, you have access to everywhere and nowhere in the quantum field. is in your heart, in the center of your center. The nucleus of the nucleus is the portal to everywhere and at all times. But yet itself is nowhere and in no time. It is unburdened by space and time. And your consciousness can always, always go there and have access. Once you let go of the story, once you let go of the emotions, but you do not let go of the emotions until you have witnessed them fully, until you have felt them fully, because if you don't feel them, you are them. And when you feel them, you are not them, and you have let go of them. In that moment that you are feeling them. That you are feeling them consciously as feelings. That you are not dragging them along or taking them for granted as a bad smell that comes after a dog poops, for example. But if you just smell the smell and not think about poop, just curiously examine the scent. It instantly changes. Maybe that wasn't such a good example. However, with emotions, as soon as you feel the feeling, without being focused into the story of that feeling, it begins to change because you created by feeling it an opening. You now stepped out of it into the space in front of it or behind it, and now there is a space between you and that emotion while you are feeling it more close and intimate than you ever have before, because you are not offering any resistance anymore. Because you are not in the mindset that this is a feeling that is bad, or that is treating you bad, or that you shouldn't have, or that you are sorry that you still have, or that you have it all. And there is no you to have it in that moment either of feeling, because there is no story. And so when there is no story but just the actual feeling of it, then there is also in that moment no you. There is just the feeling of it. So it has no meaning other than that pure immediate experience of it. And that is what changes it instantly. It is the doorway to heaven. It is the doorway to freedom. regardless of what it is that you are feeling bad about, that you are suffering from. It is more challenging when the suffering is more intense. To feel it even though it is so loud. And also when it is so subtle, it can be challenging to catch it. But not when this is your desire. When this is your desire to do because you know this is the way to freedom. When you understand that this is the way to freedom, because you are recognizing in that moment that you are free, because who you are is free of all of this that you are feeling. You, as you, who you are, is naked. You are naked. And you get to experience yourself in your raw, immediate nature when you consciously feel and nothing else. When you understand this, it will help you to actually do it. And this is not an understanding, it truly is it is resonance. It is an understanding. It is a recognition. But sometimes it has to be experienced for the recognition to take place. As you connect by focusing in to your 0 point, doesn't matter how far you get to it, how deep you get, how high you get, how expanded you get, doesn't matter. But when your focus goes within, into your center of your heart, into the stillness in your heart, which is also the eye of the storm in your mind. So it doesn't even matter how many thoughts are swirling around in there. But when you are standing in the eye of the storm, you're not going around in circles, you're not revolving around the stories. You don't follow the stories, you don't entertain them, you don't step on them on the train. of the stories, of thought. And that happens naturally when you focus into your heart. It's just as well if you do step on the train. Because if your desire is to drink from your well because you're thirsty, and usually suffering will get you thirsty, then you'll want to step off that train again and focus into your heart, into the still of your heart. And it's real easy to do that when you have a feeling that is uncomfortable, that you wish to shift, that you wish to transform, that you wish to transcend, that you wish to heal. Because then you have something to focus on, something tangible, even when it's subtle, and even when it's loud. And when you do that, you have a direct connection to God, to your source, to your soul. And those are the vibrations that now you broadcast into the network of humanity, the pool of humanity. But it's not just humanity, it's also all beings, all living beings. We share a grid work. We share a grid. Even when there are many grids that we don't share, there is, simply by being on this planet at this time, there is a grid that we do share. Morphogenetic field, for example. And then you broadcast through your being into the field the vibration, the frequency of soul, of spirit, of harmony. All that comes from source in different volumes, of course. There are different volumes. At your volume. That is the most powerful thing you can do for humanity. Do you know that? And it seems so negligible. It seems like you're not doing anything, just sitting on the sofa being still. Some people will tell you that you're wallowing in your feelings. They don't understand. And they don't have to. But it's good for you to know and to honor what you're doing. Because you're not just doing it for yourself. When you are doing it for yourself, it's good to know that you're also serving humanity and serving the planet. Can you tell me how I can connect with, for example, the not med bed, this healing quantum bed device, or medicines, or minerals, mineral complexes, supplements, healing things for my body without having to physically, materially put them into my body? How can I bring them into my body? These vibrations, these frequencies, these codes, as if I would be lying on the bed, as if I would have ingested the material, the product. How can I bring it into my body energetically? Can you speak on that, please? Okay, so you see the quantum field now. It's like an ocean with waves made out of pixels, like little lamps, little spheres on the top of the ocean, on the surface of the water. And you are consciousness moving through these spheres or toroidal fields, toroids, okay? Each one a unique experience, okay? So you just watch that for a moment. Now imagine every single one of those toroids is a whole onto itself, from the micro into the macro. So these are layers and layers and layers of ocean surfaces, infinite ocean surfaces. We're staying in this universe. We're not going into a parallel reality. We're staying in one reality, keeping it simple. So from the smallest to the biggest, it's all there. So there's going to be, on one level, you could call it size, you could call it dimension, you can call it frequency bandwidth or level of frequency. For every holon to itself, holon, which is a toroidal field, there is one pixel. So for every molecule is in the quantum field. Every atom is in the quantum field. And so on. And then the atoms come together, and the molecules and everything comes together to create and build bigger and bigger living bodies of being. Every liver has a toroidal field. Every nervous system has a toroidal field. No, you just asked, does every thought have a toroidal field? No. We're speaking of matter now. Quantum field, we're speaking of matter. Consciousness even though matter is made out of consciousness, but there is also the pure consciousness that is not matter. What about souls, you ask? Yes, it's the same thing. Souls are made out of the consciousness and then the manifest part, the created part, the crystallized expression of that consciousness. And the crystallized expression has a toroidal field, a torus, let's just call it torus, is better. A torus within that quantum field. Okay? So every human being has a torus. Yes. We are, at the moment, we are just talking about living objects like bodies, be it plant, trees, clouds, humans, elementals, planets, insects, and so forth. Okay, now what you were talking about, let's say the blue drink with all the minerals in it and all the nutrition in it for the body. Or let's say cloud, monatomic gold product that has a certain combination, certain frequency. Okay. How to receive that, bring that into your body, that exact frequency. Yeah. So now remember what I was saying about the matter and how it has an expression and representation, every whole unto itself, a torus within that surface of the water ocean, waves, infinite in the quantum field. Mm-hmm. Now, each matter is in some kind of dimension, and that means it is in some kind of space, and that means it is in some kind of time. All, of course, always relative to the time space from which you are looking from. Your consciousness is focalized in and looking from your physicality is based in. Mm-hmm. Now, the quantum field works in all directions, so you can essentially connect to any dimension in any space-time in the quantum field. Mm-hmm. So what you want to do now is you remember the photo of the not med bed. I don't know the name of it. Just call it quantum healing not med bed. Mm-hmm. So you saw a photo of it. That not med bed is currently standing there. It's still standing there where you saw the photo of it. Mm-hmm. So it is in your dimension. It is in your time space, except at a distance. It's on the planet right now, somewhere. Mm-hmm. Okay. So far, so good? Yeah. Okay. So it's occupying space, and it's a bunch of different kinds of atoms, and then different kinds of matter, raw materials, coming together in a very specific way to create this not med bed, this bed. Let's just call it bed, healing bed for now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And it is somewhere existing right now. Now, what you do is you ask when you're standing in the quantum field in your torus, and you ask your higher consciousness, your higher self, all right, hold on, to bring the vibration that this bed would, when you lay on it, would bring to your physicality in the optimal program for you at this time, because there's different ways you can set it. Now, the highest consciousness knows exactly what that is, what frequency that is, what program that is. And it also knows exactly what you're talking about because you're thinking of that photo and of that bed. And so it's like an address. You're pointing to it and you're making a connection with it right now. And that's true. You just got the confirmation. So you're asking to lay your body on the bed and to receive the frequency that you would when you would, if you would be physically laying on the bed, with the program that is perfectly suited for your support, healing support, awakening support, expansion support, perfectly suited, the best program that serves you right now, that you receive the frequencies in an equal fashion as if you were physically lying on the bed, to be executed now. Ideally, you would be lying down now, and you can also repeat this later. But right now, what we also want to do is to understand, to see how this works, how energy, medicine, if you so want, works, how the quantum field works, and what you are capable of bringing into your physical body without the actual physical material situation or product. How you can bring frequencies into your body without the physical product and have the same outcome, however, as if you would be ingesting the physical product or experiencing the physical circumstance or object of mm-hmm. object of impact, let's call it. Mm-hmm. So it's already working on you right now. Yes, I can detect that you don't quite yet believe it, and that's fine. We just started, and yes, and we are still also staying within the mind, within a space of understanding. And as I said before, it takes experience to have resonance, to have the experience of resonance, and to come to understanding. So that the mind is married with the heart and the body, and there is a full balance between the three. The heart is the soul. Also, yeah, it's the portal to the soul. So you're imagining yourself lying on that bed, and receiving its healing frequencies. And actually, it doesn't even give you light. It tunes the body to open up, to be able to receive the light from within. That's what it does. It's like a tuning fork to the 0 point, so that then the body's own intelligence can use the light for everything, to heal everything. Because that's really all it takes. And you can do this through your consciousness, by allowing your consciousness to take your body into the field, into the energy representational field of this machine that is a tool that emits energy, frequency code. Now you're asking, you have the question that, oh, what if somebody else is already lying on the bed right now? What you're doing is, let me see. It exists as a whole in time space. It is fully, as everything else is, a knowing within the mind of God. And you are connecting to it as a potential expressed. So you are connecting to its pure form that is outside of space and time. So when you lie on it, imagine yourself lying on it. And when you ask to receive the healing of this bed for your highest good, in the program that is perfectly suited to your needs right now, then there is no reason in the world why you should not receive that. If you ask for something that is not in your highest good, then that might not work. Then there might be a block, or it just won't happen in your asking, and you're not going to be given what you ask for because it's not in your highest good. But when it is, everything rushes together to bring you exactly that. It is one thought within the mind of God, you lying on that bed, receiving this now. And so it exists. It is happening. And the effects are felt within your physical body. Because it is streaming through the quantum field. It is a reality of your body now at the same time as you are sitting here. And you are receiving this healing light frequency from yourself. The bed is like a midwife to it. And it's actually in training you to be able to do it on your own. So you will be connecting to the bed for a while until you figure out a different way, until you're inspired through the bed, through the help of the bed, not through the bed, through the help of the bed, to, you can do it on your own. And it's fun to work with tools because they are helpers. And they are there when you need them, when you can use them, when you can make use of them in your highest good. They are there when they empower you. That is when they are there and when they are available. And even when you use a product or something that disempowers you, just like when you are in a disempowering relationship, ultimately it also empowers you. Not at the moment, but it is a necessary step to empowerment, to experience your disempowerment, to realize what you don't want and how that feels. And to step into action. And oftentimes, to step into that willpower, we have to first go through suffering and experience our weakness to a point where we break and we can't take it anymore. And something in us comes forth and is born that was buried deep for a very long time. And it took that pressure to get it to come out because it was very scared. So now we shall sojourn and go and lie down and really experience the bed. Continue. Yes, thank you. And see you soon. No, not see you soon. Of course not. You're always here. But yes, we will sojourn at least this recording for now.